Honestly, I would recommend that they reach out to an attorney
before you give a statement.
before you give a statement. And when you do reach out to an attorney, don't just get any attorney. Like literally, you pray on it and trust that God will lead you to the right one. Because like I said, before I even encountered you, I was recommended another attorney. She didn't pick up until after I got you. And I had called others and they would not pick up our case at all. So I feel like God will lead you where you need to go. You just gotta trust the process. I would say, besides knowing your parental rights, also know your medical history. Be able to pull your own records. And I say this because our children literally had they basically had now I don't want to say brittle bone, but a lot of that was because me for myself, I literally have low iron, and therefore when I had to do that testing, it resulted showing that I had low vitamin D, and a lot of that is when you have low vitamin D, that could also be an issue with the bones. So I didn't know that during their birth that they show in their medical records that they had low vitamin D, they had jaundice and all this other stuff. It wasn't presented to us because supposedly it wasn't as severe where they needed to let us know that this was a issue. But always ask for your children's medical records after leaving the hospital. Now I noticed that when we go to the pediatrician, they always give us their medical charts whenever to let us know whatever they have went over and what they've already went over in the past. So make sure you have your medical history, your kids' medical history. Just be adamant about being up to date with everything, knowing your parental rights. Um, Keep your stuff on file, whether the medication, everything. So it's not an issue when you do have to present anything.
Um, I would mostly say staying composed and not let um because my first my first response to most things is either fight or flight, and I would say perseverance and if you know you didn't do anything or you don't have any idea the explanation that they're bringing to you, make sure you say I don't know and that you stay composed because they always looking at the way that you act. They looking at the the way that you gesture. They looking at your facial expressions, and they looking at the words that they say and how it could arise you. And I say don't let them break you out of your character.
In interrogated by the police officer, they basically told him he wasn't a good father and everything to bring him out of his character.
Yeah, they did tell me that I wasn't a good father, and that made me angry. They tried to tell me I wasn't a good father because I didn't know how the injuries could occur in my children, and that did bring out a part of me that was mad and angry, and that's why I knew at that moment I had to end the interview or the interrogation because I was just like, yeah, this that that would do it right there. You try to tell me that I'm a bad parent because I don't know what happened to my children, and you know nobody would know what's going on with our children if we didn't see anything, if we couldn't see injuries on the outside or something that could have been underlining. We wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what was going on. So it hurt me. They hit a hurt spot that made me want to go in outrage. So that's why I would say stay composed and stay patient.
I definitely
I totally agree.
After reading the discovery and understanding my case for myself, I definitely wouldn't believe everything they say, because I even know based on their statements that they made in their own discoveries that they lied. They even added additional documents that wasn't present when we needed them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I say don't believe them because I remember when we was going through a defects case, and I sat up there and heard the doctor that gave our diagnosis say she didn't know where the injuries came from, and she didn't do no due diligence to find out information. And I was like, so you didn't run these things, you didn't run these tests that you should have ran, to do your due diligence on researching and trying to figure out where the injuries could have occurred, and you just diagnose something. So don't hop, jump, and skip to the first thing that people tell you what it is.
I wouldn't speak with anybody without an attorney, and they will have to show me some paperwork before they push me out, if that was to ever be the scenario again.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. They would have to show paperwork or something